Okay, so I was talking to Camila, telling her that this Friday, we're going to do the presentations. It's more or less 5 minutes, and I'm going to ask you 1 or 2 questions. So I need your scripts in order to be prepared about what you're going to talk, and then I can prepare 1 or 2 questions for you, all right, about the topic that you're going to talk about. Okay?
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
The presentation is on Friday.
Friday. Then I would like you to make a list, because we can start at 6:30. 6:30, where we can take 5 minutes for the presentation, plus a little bit more for the questions. So it will be like 10 minutes each one of you. If you are 8, so it's going to be like 80 minutes, almost 1.5 hours. Now, who would like to start? Maybe Ricardo, you can make the list of people, but the idea is that I know that there are certain people who prefer to do it later because the ones who study in the evening program, probably they have classes before. So you can organize that, and then you tell me from, I don't know, from 6:30 to 6:40, Ricardo, and from 6:40 to, and then you give me an order so as to be prepared, okay, for the presentations. As in the other time, Daniel is going to help me with that. We are both going to be taking notes, and we're going to discuss about your presentation. Yeah, because it's always better to have two people thinking about what you have done. Okay, so that is something that I would like you to be prepared for. Okay, and this Thursday, I'm going to be at 7 o'clock prepared if you have any questions. This is our last class, because today we are supposed to finish Unit 7, and we are going to be done, okay? So from then on, you have to study for the use of English, the second use of English, and speaking test. Okay, so if you have questions, you can come on Friday. I'm going to be, I don't know, 15 minutes waiting for you. If nobody comes, then it's going to be that, okay? But if you can ask me questions. The idea is that you study and then be prepared to ask me questions for that day. So today I'm going to do the last class of my life, because I'm going to be retired next semester. So this is my last class. You have the honor to be present for my last class, the last class of my life. I don't know if I am going to work later than, I don't know, later in another institution. I don't know. Not in Dublin, because I'm going to be retired for there. I have to wait 5 years to teach again in a public institution. So when you retire, you have to wait 5 years to teach again in a public institution, or you can work in a private one. Okay, so I don't know if I am going to work in a private one. I don't think so. I feel that I'm okay. I don't want to work anymore. I probably would like to do something different. I have had some different things. Once I was driving a car, as a Cabify. So I work on that. I had very good experiences. I had some people who were American, and so I could speak English. So I enjoyed it very much. And I also did some translations for for people who were robbed, Americans or foreigners who were robbed, and they called me from the Fiscalía, and then I had to, be present because usually they were robbed by Chilean people, and then they caught those guys and then they had to present the charges against those people. So I have to, you know, make my in front of the jury, you know, or the law, or the judge, say that I'm not lying, etc., and then translate what the people were saying. So it's interesting too. That's pretty interesting. But now there are no foreigners; they're not tourists. So, but that is another possibility. So I would like to do something different. Okay, so we're going to start finishing. You know, with we are on page 75. Okay, conditionals. It says advanced features. You know that we've been working with the 4 types of conditionals. Yeah, type 0, type 1, type 2, type 3, and mixed conditionals, right? And apart from that, there are some other type in which they use formality. That is the other type that we are going to start working on. Okay, so we're going to go to the book, and in there, if you go to page 75, it says here, grammar reference 173. Okay, we're going to do that. Okay, I'm going to look for the book, and we're going to go to that page. Let me share the screen. Okay, and that is in page, we're going to read that because in there, so page 173. There you go. We're going to start here in conditionals. We have studied this, right? All types of conditional. Okay, we're going to review this very fast. Okay, first 0 conditional, in which you have used if as present or as present in the main clause. Okay, if you hit water, it boils. Then the first conditional that has what, Ricardo? What is the form of the first conditional? Are you there, Ricardo? Open yours. Ah, there you go.
Hello.
Okay. So first conditional would be?
Present simple plus will.
Yeah. In the main clause. Here you have an example. Read it, please, Ricardo. He'll be. Can you see it or not? Can you see the book?
Oh, yes. She'll be absolutely thrilled if it turns out that you can go back to Australia in November.
Okay, so here you have the clause inverted. That is to say, future first, but then if and present. So if, present, future. Okay, then you have the second conditional that has, Tamara, can you read that, please? Are you there, Tamara?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, okay, so read this. The element of the
form?
conditional.
The form?
Yes.
Okay. If plus past simple continuous plus would, could, etc. plus past participle in the main clause.
Here I would say the real one is if plus past simple or continuous plus would or could, not plus past participle. I would say that is not very common. Okay, read the first example here, please, Tamara. Here.
Where yeah. If was, where.
If I was, or I
I'm
were.
sorry, oh yeah, really, yeah. If I were in your shoes, I'd seriously consider, I can't read.
Immigrating. Consider immigrating.
Immigrating.
Yeah, right. Okay, read the other one, Camila, please. If I was
Prime Minister, I would cut education and health care spending.
I wouldn't cut.
I wouldn't cut.
I wouldn't cut education and healthcare spending. Okay, then we have third type. Okay, and here you have some other possibilities that you can use it to talk about something or to give advice. For example, I would try and eat less bread if I were you. Yeah, that is an advice. Probably you are too fat, so they're telling me I would try and eat less bread if I were you. Okay, then we have here the third type. So Camila, read it. The form.
If plus past perfect
Yeah.
plus would or could plus have plus past participle in the main clause.
Yeah. When do you use that? To describe something in the past that could have happened but didn't, or that shouldn't have happened but did. Okay. Read the example.
I wouldn't I wouldn't have said anything about it if I'd had any idea he would
If I'd
make
had,
such,
if I'd had,
if I'd had
if I had,
I'd,
yeah.
I'd had any idea he would make such a fuss.
Okay.
Fuss.
Ricardo, read the other one. She could have had.
She could have had a stopover in Dubai if she had flown with the other airline.
You know what a stopover is?
And this is the escala in Spanish.
Right. Okay. When you stop in a long trip, okay, that is a
Yeah.
stopover. Sometimes if you pay more money, you don't have stopovers. If you pay less money, you have hundreds of stopovers, okay, which makes you very tired when you are traveling, all right? But I loved the stopovers when I traveled because I'm scared of flying. So I prefer to be some certain time in the airport rather than in the air. Okay, so then we have here modal verbs in conditional sentences. We're going to read this, okay, which is very important. From this on, you're going to have, we have here the mixed conditionals. Okay, for example, modal verbs in conditional sentences. Modal verbs can, could, might, etc. can be used in all types of conditional sentences. I might pop in to see you if I can persuade Joe to drive me. Yeah. If she had more support, she could set up her own business. Yeah. So you can use it anyway. Yeah. Here you have present, past, conditional. Could or would are conditionals. Past perfect, perfect conditional with might. Remember that you can use would have, but you can also use could have, might have met. Yeah. Okay. Now the mixed conditionals. Read that, please, Ricardo.
If it is possible to have sentences that mix conditionals in an if clause referring to the past with a main clause referring to the present or future.
Okay, read it.
If I had finished my law degree, I would probably be a lawyer now.
Now, see? So that is a mixed condition.
That's my case.
Yeah. Really? You studied law?
Yeah. Yeah, for a couple of years.
Really? And why did
Yes.
didn't you continue?
Because I didn't really like it.
Yeah, okay.
It was
It must
not
be boring
my
to learn all to remember all the laws and decrees and things like that.
yeah, and the texts were boring.
Yeah, I imagine.
It was not on my field.
Yeah, you have to love this. Okay, so
Yeah.
the thing here is that you mix the condition, and here you have past perfect that usually use would have, right? This could have or would have as past participle, but in here use would with be. When you use that, when you have something in the past but with a result now. If I had finished my law degree, then I would probably be a lawyer now. Okay, past, present. Oh, the other one, read it also, Ricardo.
An if clause referring to the present or future.
No, this
with
one, the other example,
yeah. If we hadn't been asked to help, we could go home now.
Right. If we hadn't been asked to help, we could go home now. Past, present. Now, the other possibility is this one. Read it, Ricardo. An if clause.
An if clause referring to the present or future with a main clause referring to the past. If you don't like hot weather, you shouldn't have booked to go to Cordoba in July.
So it's the other way around, okay? If you don't like hot weather, now, present, if you don't like hot weather in general, you shouldn't have booked to go to Cordoba in July, then. Read the other one, please, Camila.
If you have got to get up so early tomorrow, you ought to have gone to bed by now.
Remember that ought to is the same as should. So you should have gone to bed by now. Okay. Okay, so this is the mixed conditionals. Now, it says here, conditional linking words and alternatives to if. You know that these are called if clauses, but sometimes they do not use only if. They have other possibilities. And I'm going to read this because I want you to pay attention, because when you are reading, you pay attention to the reading, but you pronunciation and you don't pay attention to the context. It says here, common conditional linking words are if, as, so long as, unless, even if, whether, providing, provided that, on condition that. When the clause with the conditional linking word is at the beginning of the sentence, there is a comma. When the main clause begins the sentence, there is no comma. It's the same as in if, right? For example, if you lay the table, I'll serve the dinner. As long as you can check your email, we can stay in touch, right? I won't stay late unless they need me to. They're holding the carnival, even if it is cold and wet. I'll attend the meeting provided that I can get time off. Provided that means, or it's like the idea of on condition that. Yeah, so I'll attend the meeting on condition that I can get time off. Yeah. In the event of cancellation, a full refund will be provided. I hope Val emails me today, otherwise I'll have to call her. Yep. I'll book a later flight in case I miss the connection. So all these words are used or replacing if. Okay. They have similar meaning, not the same meaning, but similar. Okay. Also, you can use when, especially in the zero conditionals. For example, when you when the water gets 100 degrees, it boils, right? So in that case, when is replacing if. Okay, let's see the other possibilities. Now you have the formal style. So conditional sentences, but in formal styles, right? It says here, in more formal styles, we can omit if, but we have to place the auxiliary verb before the subject. How do we call that? When you put the auxiliary verb before the subject, we studied that. You know that in English, the order of a sentence is subject, verb form. How do we call when we invert the verb form with the subject when we change it. How is it called?
Inversion.
Inversion. Okay, so in order to, when you want to make it more formal, you can use inversion. Instead of if I had known you were going, you can say, had I known you were not going to be available, I would have called the meeting for another day. Okay, so here you are omitting the if, but you are using inversion because it's a more formal style. Had I not booked a return ticket, I would be able to stay for another month. Were Tim my son? Inversion. Were Tim my son? I would not hesitate to help him. Yeah. So inversion is used also for a formal style in clauses. Okay. Now, the second formal style is if plus should is common in formal letters. For even greater formality, omit if and begin the sentence with should. For example, if you should require only further information, please do not hesitate to contact us. Should you wish to contact me, I can be reached at the above address. For example, in here, you can use inversion. How would you do it? Instead of saying, if you should require any further information, you have to invert. So how would you do it? Should you require any further information, please do not hesitate to contact us. Yeah, should you? Inversion. Okay? That is for formal style. Now, if plus should or plus happen to, we use if plus should happen to suggest that something is more unlikely or just a chance possibility. Should and happen can be used together. If you should happen to run into my old friend Simon, do say hello to him from me. If you happen to pass a post office, could you get me a couple of stamps? Yeah. So if you should happen to run, if you happen to run. In that case, you use it when? When do you use it? To suggest that something is not very possible. It's less than possible, okay? Then, suppose, what if? Suppose means what if, and it is used with, one, the present simple to describe something that may possibly happen, or may have happened. Suppose someone hears us. Suppose someone tells her what you said. The past simple to talk about something that is imaginary. But this is, well, this is not in relation to if, I think. Yeah, that's another possibility, okay? The past simple to talk about something that is imaginary or which is unlikely to happen in the future. Suppose Caroline found out about the letter. What would you do? Suppose you got a great job abroad. Would you emigrate? And here you have using second conditional, okay? But instead of if, you are using suppose. Why second conditional? Because it's past with would. If you got a great job abroad, would you emigrate? Yeah, but you can use also suppose. Suppose you got a great job abroad, would you emigrate? So you can use suppose with the present, with the past, and now with the past perfect. When do you use it? The past perfect to talk about something that could have happened in the past but didn't. Suppose we had never met. Do you think you would have married Sylvia? If we had never met, do you think you would have married Sylvia? Same idea. Suppose you hadn't been born in another country, how would your life have been different? Okay, so suppose follows the same rules of the clauses. Clause number one, present. Clause number two, past, suppose with past and would. And in the third case, suppose with past perfect, perfect condition. It's the same idea. Now, 5.1, if plus will or would. We use if plus will, would to make requests more polite. In this case, the auxiliary will, would means be willing to. If you will, just bear with me for a few moments. I'll tell the head of the department that you are here, okay? If you would be kind enough to supply the additional documentation, we will then be able to offer some advice on your investments. Okay, so in here you have all the possibilities for if clauses. So if you want to study, here you have all the examples. Okay, so you have zero conditional, zero conditional, present, present. First conditional, present, future. Second conditional, past conditional, simple. Third conditional, past perfect, perfect conditional, would have plus past participle. Mixed conditional, past perfect with would, or simple would, and an action from the past that develops an idea to the present. And then apart from that, you have inversion, when you want to talk in a more formal way, in which you have to invert, and suppose, and also if you happen to, yeah, if you happen to pass, if you happen to run, if you happen to come, how would you translate that? If you happen to pass a post office, could you get me a couple of stamps?
Sería similar a decir si es que pasas por.
I would say, si llegaras a pasar. Si llegaras a pasar, porque es una posibilidad que no es likely to happen. Porque aquí se dice, we use if plus should happen to suggest that something is more unlikely or just a chance possibility. Should and happen can be used together. Yeah, you can use it this way, if you happen to pass or if you should happen to pass, right? Si llegaras a pasar. Yeah. And in here, in inversion, for example, had I known, if I had known you were not going to be available, how would you translate that? Had I known you were not going to be available? Hubiese sabido que no ibas a estar disponible, habría llamado o habría, claro, habría citado la reunión para otro día. Hubiese sabido. In that case, when you use inversion, you omit if and you invert. If I had known would be the normal thing, but with inversion, with had I known, had I not booked, where team my son? Okay, so in here you have all the possibilities for conditional sentences. Okay, so now, oops, we're going to, oh no, I'm going to share screen again. But we're going to go back to page 75, page 75, to see some examples. Yeah, it here says, look at the sentences AD from the recording and find a word or phrase that. One, read number one, Tamara is not, Tamara, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, number one.
Makes an event seems more hypothetical.
Hypothetical, hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
Okay, so find a word or phrase that makes an event seem more hypothetical. Then you have to read in here, A, B, C, or D. Okay. Number 2, read it, Camila.
Is an extremely polite form which is mainly used in writing.
Yeah. Which of these is an extremely polite form which is mainly used in writing? Ricardo, number 3.
Makes a request less of an imposition.
Right? From here. And then number 4, Melissa.
Makes a sentence sound more formal.
Okay, so we're going to read this, but you have to identify which goes with which. Which of these sentences makes an event seem more hypothetical? Which is an extremely polite form, which is mainly used in writing? Which makes a request less of an imposition? Which makes a sentence sound more formal? Okay? Now we're going to read, and then I'm going to give you some minutes to identify them, connect them. You can look at the back to page 173, I think it is. Okay, so first of all, let's read them. Letter A, Camila, read letter A. If I were to learn.
If I were to learn that a friend was being paid to promote a product to me, I would be really angry.
Yeah. Okay, letter B, Ricardo.
If you happen to be talking to your friends, can you just mention in passing that you use lip looks?
Right. Letter C, Melissa.
Should you wish to make a complaint, we suggest you to contact the Advertising Control Board.
Okay, and Tamara.
Have the company asked my friend's permission to use her blog to promote the product. She wouldn't never had agreed to it.
She would never have agreed to it. She would never.
I'm sorry, but I can see very well the screen.
Yeah, she would never have agreed to it. Okay, now you have to match this with the sentences. I'll give you some minutes to do it, okay? Yep. So number 1, makes an event seem more hypothetical. A, B, C, or D?
C,
A.
A. If I were to learn that a friend was being paid to promote a product to me, I would be really angry. Hypothetical. Okay. 2, is an extremely polite form which is mainly used in writing.
C.
C, yes, inversion. Should you wish to make a complaint, we suggest you contact the Advertising Control Board. 3, makes a request less of an imposition.
B,
B, if you happen to be talking to your friends, can you just mention in passing that you use lip looks? And number 4 would be then letter
D.
D. D. Makes a sentence sound more formal. Had the company asked my friend's permission? Also inversion. Yeah. You have inversion to make it more formal, but you also have inversion to make it more polite with should. Okay, now we're going to go to the next part. It says here, but I think this, you can do it at home. Let's do the first one, okay? It says here, unless the weather improves, if the weather improves, doesn't improve, if, yeah, these are the possibilities. Unless the weather improves, if the weather doesn't improve, if the weather improves, we won't be able to have the picnic. That is the, you have to mix. We won't be able to have the picnic. There is one that does not correspond. That is not possible. Only one. Two would be correct, and one would be incorrect. Only one. So I'm going to read them, and you will tell me. Unless the weather improves, we won't be able to have the picnic. If the weather doesn't improve, we won't be able to have the picnic. If the weather improves, we won't be able to have the picnic. Which is the incorrect one?
If the weather improves,
Yeah, the third one. If the weather improves, we won't be able to have the picnic. No, if the weather improves, we will be able to have the picnic, right? So in all this, you have two which are wrong and one that is correct. Okay, so let's do number 2 and number 3. Yeah, I'm going to read them for you and then you decide, okay? Number 2 says, I would be really disappointed if we didn't win. I would be really disappointed if we won. I'd be really disappointed unless we won at least one gold medal.
The second one,
Which one?
if we want, I'd be
Yeah.
really disappointed if you want.
Right, that's incorrect. You can be disappointed if you won. Okay, so that is in the incorrect one. And number 3, you should try to get more sleep. Otherwise, if not, yeah, I'm going to read them complete. You should try to get more sleep. Otherwise, you'll exhaust yourself before the exams have even started. You should try to get more sleep. If not, you'll exhaust yourself before the exams have even started. And you should try to get more sleep unless you'll exhaust yourself before the exams have even started. What is the one?
Second one, I don't know. You try to get more sleep. If not, the second one, I
I'm
don't know.
going to read them again. You should try to get more sleep. Otherwise, you will exhaust yourself before the exams even started. That's the first one. You should try to get more sleep. If not, you will exhaust yourself before the exams have even started. You should try to get more sleep unless you will exhaust yourself before the exams have even started. What is the one that is incorrect? Unless, yes. Unless is the incorrect. Okay, so number 4, 5, and 6, you are going to do them as homework. Okay? Okay. Now, in here, let me see. Change the meaning of the sentences following the instruction in brackets. Use the conditional forms in activity 2. For example, if you inherited a lot of money, would you give up working? You have to do it more hypothetical. How could you do it more hypothetical? you inherited a lot of money, would you give up working?
If you were to inherit a lot of money, would you give up working?
Yeah, that is correct. If you were to inherit a lot of money, if you were to inherit a lot of money, would you give up working? Now, if you require assistance, contact a member of staff. Extremely polite, formal, and written. Yes.
Should you require assistance?
Yeah. Should you require assistance, contact a member of staff. That is extremely polite, formal, and usually in written. Yeah. Then number 3, if we had interviewed a large number of people, we would have obtained more reliable results. More formal.
Have we interviewed?
Interviewed, yes. Had we
Interviewed.
interviewed? Inversion, more formal. If you see Joe, can you remind him to give me a call? Less of an imposition.
If you happen to see Joe,
Yeah.
can you remind him?
Okay, that's it. Perfect. That is the way you have to do this, these conditional sentences. Okay. Then we have here the last part, which is writing the report. First of all, it says here, look at the extract from a survey on attitudes to advertising. Respond to the questions and compare your responses with other students. Yeah, you are going to read this and you have to write in there, agree, disagree, or neither. That means that you don't like any of, you don't agree or you don't disagree. I mean, any of those, okay? You are in the middle. Okay. Number 1 says, we're going to read them first. Melissa, read number 1. Melissa? Melissa? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I like to look at most of the advertisements I am exposed to.
Do you agree? Do you disagree? Or neither? Okay, so write it.
Neither.
Write it in there. Okay. Tamara, number 2.
Most advertising insults my intelligence.
Okay. No, don't answer. Don't answer. Just
Okay.
then you answer for you, only for you. Then I'm going to ask you, Ricardo. Number 3. I can't hear you, Ricardo. You're muted.
Sorry. In general, I feel I can trust advertising.
All right. Camila, number 4.
Products usually live up to the promises made in their advertisement.
Yeah. Melissa, the last one.
In general, I like advertising.
Okay. Now, if you ask me, number 1 says, I like to look at most of the advertisements I am exposed to. Not at most. Some of them only, not all of them. Number 2, most advertising insults my intelligence. No, I wouldn't say so. Some of them are stupid, but in general, I feel I can trust advertising. No, I don't think so. I don't trust advertising. Products usually live up to the promises made in their advertisements or advertisements. Live up to the promises. That means that they fulfill the promises. No, not all the time. I disagree with that. And in general, I like advertising. I agree. I like advertising. I like to watch some of them. Okay, tell me some of your ideas, Camila, for example.
I
Choose,
like
choose
advertising,
two.
but
Choose two and explain to me why. Choose two and explain to me why.
I like to look at the most, but as you, so a little bit because of the design. For that reason, I think I like the advertising because of the
Yeah.
design and the images that they put to take the attention.
Yeah, okay. Ricardo?
Um,
In number
in
two, what's
general,
your opinion about number two? Most advertising insults my intelligence.
no, I don't think that, because I like advertising. Most of them are really fun and creative.
Yeah,
I usually um, look at them on TV.
yeah. Okay. Okay, Melissa. What about number five?
I disagree. I don't really like advertising
Why not? Why not?
because you're full of advertisements in everywhere, in TV and in
On TV.
apps,
On TV.
on TV, in
Yeah,
apps, on the phone. So I really hate it.
yeah. You hate them because you're talking about advertisements. All right. And Tamara, what about number three? In general, I feel I can trust advertising. What do you think about it?
Maybe sometimes. I don't know. I don't see advertise. It makes me some kind of I think that they are
Boring.
boring,
Yeah.
because I don't know, you are seeing something really concentrate and then an advertising. So
Yeah.
I don't like it. I pass.
So
I pass.
they interrupt what you're
They
watching.
interrupt what I'm seeing or listening.
They interrupt what you're watching. Okay. You know, do you remember any advertisement that was that you laughed? For example, I remember one advertisement. It was a Chilean advertisement that won a prize, and Firestone Radial Sport. Did you have you ever seen that one? It was a lot of fun. There were two. It was an Indian guy with with his feathers in here, with his family, his wife and a little Indian, little native, and the guy went into the road, put the air on the road like this, as if he were listening, on the floor like this, and then he said in Spanish, because it was a Chilean advertisement: "Si camino no hablar, el indio cruzar." And he started crossing the street, and then when he was in the middle, there was a car coming very fast, and they have to run away, and then he said, "Si camino no hablar, ser Firestone Radiales por que venir." And it was fun, because in those days, and it was very popular because people started like saying that, and it was good for you. You know that in the United States, they usually, for the what's the name of that, Super Bowl, in which they play the final game of the American football, in the transmission of the game, in the middle of the game, they have a special moment to present new advertisements, and they are fantastic, and they pay a lot of money, because this show, the Super Bowl, is watched by millions of people. So they present new advertisements, and many of them are really fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so it's I remember some of them which were very, very good. Do you remember any advertisement that you liked?
I
Or that you
remember
still?
one.
Which one?
I think it's Coca-Cola. It was a song that said, Momento cursi, cursi, cursi.
Yeah,
And it was very funny. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the song.
yeah. It was how long ago? Many years ago or not?
Yes, I don't know the date, but it was very old.
Yeah. Okay. What about the rest? Do you remember any advertisements that was fun for you that you like? Ricardo, you want to say something?
I don't remember.
You don't remember any? Melissa, what about you?
I used to like the advertisement of Coca-Cola on Christmas with the bird,
With what?
the polar bears.
Ah, with the polar bear. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That was fun. It was pretty. And you, Tamara? Any advertisements?
There was one
Which one?
of, can I say it in Spanish?
Okay.
Yes, iban subiendo la escalera cargando algo, creo que era una mesa. Y el tipo, el amigo que le iba ayudando le decía, cuidado que está la pata suelta. Y el otro amigo le respondía, yes. That was very, very funny. Eran bromas así.
Right. No, do you remember the
Todo, in the end,
you are too young. You are too young, but many years ago there were 2 or 3 advertisements of Harmonil, which were pretty good. You remember Harmonil?
The salt, the salt on the soap.
Remember
the salt.
that one?
In the soup?
When the guy was working in the computer, and then suddenly, the computer failed, and the guy started, hitting the computer.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And there were like 2 of them pretty good. There was another one in which there are 2 guys, they're talking, and one of them is showing pictures of his family, and then they say, well, this is my wife, and this is this is my daughter, and the other guy start telling him about his family, and then the camera start like doing a zooming out, zooming out, and then they started, and they had a big crash with his cars, and the cars were all, like the smoke, and all destroyed, and there were a big traffic jam, and the guy said, okay, what are we gonna do with the cars? I don't know, let's call me tomorrow and then we will see. And then the guy said, Harmonil, it was pretty good because they show how Harmonil helped to control your temper. There are many which are really, really good. I remember very good one.
I remember one.
Which one?
I remember one that you must remember since you're a football fan.
Yeah, which one?
It was a CDF advertising with a catchy song that played que no caiga, que no toque el suelo.
Ah, yeah. Right, I remember that.
Yeah, I love that song.
CDF had very good advertisements.
Yes.
One in which it was made in Valparaiso, in which the guys were playing, with a ball, and they were going down the hills, and they get into the trolleys, and then they shoot the ball from one side of the port to the other one, and the guy always keeping the ball in the air, and with that song too, que no caiga, que no toque el suelo.
Yeah.
Now, what is the other one that I saw in the United States, also for a Super Bowl, that I laughed a lot? DHL. What is the name of that company that send packages?
FedEx.
DHL.
Huh? Which one?
DHL.
And the other one? What is the other one you said?
FedEx.
Ricardo? Huh?
FedEx.
FedEx.
FedEx. There was one from FedEx. It was, a guy who was they were prehistoric guys, He was a prehistoric guy, from the cavern. And the guy was with you with a package, you know, he was walking, and then suddenly one of those big birds, you know, like prehistoric birds, keep the package and keep it away. And the guy, you know, started looking, and then he had to go back to the cave, and then it was his boss. And so he said, the boss asked him, and the package? And he said, no, I couldn't bring it. Why? Because, you know, I don't know the name of that bird. Keep it for me. And he said, he said, why didn't you use FedEx? He said, what is FedEx? You are fired. You should have used FedEx, but FedEx hasn't been invented yet. That's not my problem. That's not my problem. It's your problem. So it was fun, you know, and all the you know the presentation of the advertisement was pretty good. Okay, maybe well, I don't have much time now, but I would have loved to have show you those. I have some of them, those advertisements from that Super Bowls. They were pretty good. Okay, let's see. Reports. Okay, we have to go to 192 in order to read how to write that. 192. Let's go into there. And this is the report or the proposal. And here you have a model of a proposal, yeah, or a report. What are the characteristics? Let me see if this is the one. For work on reports, see pages 34 and 76. For work on proposals, no. It says here, for example, some of the characteristics of a report. It says, to use headings and bullet points. This will make it clear to your reader that your report is not an essay or a review. Okay? Then, do state the purpose of your report at the beginning. The purpose of your report at the beginning. To use a relatively formal and impersonal style. Yeah. It says, do include a sentence summarizing your opinion at the beginning of the final section of your report. And in here, you use the task input as a guide for how to divide your report into sections. In a report, you have to divide it, okay, in sections. And then it says, do use bullet points. Don't overdo it, though. If you use them in more than one section, you won't be able to show the full range of structures and vocabulary you know. Okay, these are the characteristics of a report. So whenever you want to write a report, you can see here and read in order to prepare your report. So usually you have to make paragraphs, you have to separate your ideas, and then you have all these characteristics, okay? So this is going to be like a task. Let's go back to page 76. Go to 76, please. And then we it says here, the survey activity one, the one that we did about advertising, was conducted with a large group of people. Look at the results on page 169, then read the report. So you have to go to 169 and then read the report. Does it give an accurate account of the results? Here you have something related to that, but you can do this as homework, okay? Do all that reading, because maybe you're going to need that, not for the test, because we're not going to use that, but in the future, if you want to write something, or a report, this is going to be useful for you. Okay. So, because we're almost in time, so I would like to finish, all right, by doing some exercises related to what we were working with. Let me, which is conditionals, other expressions, and in here you have some things about conditional clauses, okay, that you can read. I'm going to upload them in order to practice. For example, with inversion, in formal situations, we can use had plus subject plus verb instead of if in third conditional sentences. Had I known you were waiting outside, I would have invited you to come in. Had Margaret realized she would be traveling alone, she would never have agreed to go. If plus word to that we saw, in formal situations, we can use if plus word to when we talk about things that might happen, but which we think are unlikely. Okay, so I'm going to upload this for you to study. And we're going to do some exercises which are interesting. And then with this, we finish. All right, let me, it says, unless provided that, and as long as exercise. Okay, read this, please, Ricardo. Expressions.
The expressions provided that, as long as have very similar meanings and are usually interchangeable. They are used before saying the conditions that make something else happen or be true, unless is similar to if not.
Yeah. Okay. Provided that, and as long as can be remember, like on condition that. Yeah. And unless is similar to if not. Yeah. For example, in here you have to choose. It's a very simple exercise, but can help you. It says here, we can win the championship. We avoid bad injuries. We can win the championship. We avoid bad injuries. Providing or unless?
Providing.
Yeah, and then we go to the next. See, that is the idea. When you go to the next immediately, that means that it was correct. I will leave now. There is anything left to do now, unless, as long as.
Unless.
Let's see. Yes, we can hold the party in the garden. It doesn't rain, provided, unless.
Provided.
Okay, that's the idea. Okay, in here you have the possibility to practice this. Remember that these are also clauses, but not with if. Not with if. So now, for you can do this in order to practice, but remember that this provided that, as long as, usually on condition that, unless if not. Yeah, and try to reread the part that that is on page, I can't remember the page, 173, in which you have in there all the clauses, including these ones, which have other words, yeah, that use conditional. Also the ones that make it more formal, etc. All that you have to know it for the test. Remember that for the test, we're going to have units. I think it is 4, 5, 6, and 7. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Those are the units that you have to study. It's a lot. And a lot of grammar. Okay. Now, what is the plan for this week? On Thursday, as I said before, if you want to ask me questions, I'm going to be at 7 o'clock connected. I'm going to invite you. We don't have more classes because we are done with the classes. But if you have any doubts or any questions or anything that you didn't understand, you can ask me and I can help you with that. And on Friday, we're going to do the presentations in one day. Everybody's going to be on Friday. You have to organize, Ricardo, so you have to organize and give me the order. Send it to me, for example, at 6:30 to 6:40, 6:40 to 6, right?
Okay.
6:50, 7, 7:10, until the last one is ready. Okay?
Okay.
And send it to me. You have to send me the script, and I'm going to prepare 1 or 2 questions that you will have to answer according to what you have presented. Remember that it is around 5 minutes. Okay, around 5 minutes of presentation. The topic is free, so you can use any topic. Send me the script, and then Friday we are going to be done with this part. And then,
Do we have to make a PowerPoint?
if you want to, it's up to you. You can use any media if you want. Yeah. If you need something you can use a video, but if you're going to use a video or something like that, it has to be very short. Okay, because anyway, you have to talk like 5 minutes. I don't want, for example, a video of 5 minutes and then you talk 1 minute. Okay, it is all the other way, right? Okay. So, any other question? Then the following week, I think we have speaking. I can't remember now. Let me check I sent
Grammar.
you the
Grammar.
use of English.
Yes.
And what day do we have it?
6.
And that is a Friday, Thursday,
Next
Friday.
Friday.
Yes. Friday.
Friday. So
Speaking
Friday
is on
10th.
10th of August is speaking.
Yeah. So first is the use of English.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that week, Tuesday and Thursday, if you are prepared, you call me and I can give you any of those days. I'm going to be like 15 minutes waiting for you. If you come, I can help you. If you don't come in 15 minutes, that means that you don't need anything, you are prepared. Okay. So that is for the use of English. And then the following week is going to be when do we have
The speaking is on 10th and pending test. It says 12, August 12.
pending test?
I
Yeah.
can see 10, 12, 12, 17.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to send you when we are ready with that, I'm going to send you the self-evaluation. Remember, you have to be honest, because if you lie to me, I'm going to reduce your grade. Okay. You have to be honest. If you have failed a lot of classes, you can't get a 5. For example, if 5 is the maximum grade in that aspect, you can't get a 5. You have to reduce your grade. Okay. You have to be honest for that. Okay. So that would be all for today. And okay, that will be it. Any questions so far? Remember that you have to communicate with Ricardo to organize who's going to go first, second, third, fourth, etc. Okay. No questions?
No.
Okay, that's it. This is my last class. ever.
Thanks, teacher, for everything.
I'm
Thank
almost
you.
retired now. I'm almost retired. I'm thinking about what I'm going to say. I'm going to write in my Facebook my last words before, after retiring me. Okay, but I am grateful anyway. I think I've been very happy in this university and in this course of studies. I love teaching English pedagogy. Things I have learned a lot, and the university has helped me a lot. I've done lots of things because of the university. I've been able to travel, to know other people, to learn. So it's been something really important in my life. Apart from being an ex-student, not from UPLA, but from Universidad de Chile, which is the same. Okay, I'm too old for that. Okay, guys, see you then. See you on
teacher.
Thursday if you come. Then on Friday for the test. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good time.